Hello friends, welcome back to my YouTube channel, that is Mechanical Engineer Make Easy. This is Akash Misri and I am moving with machine design. This is second lecture, and for second lecture the fluctuating loads is the topic. And in first lecture we have studied all the types of theories of elastic failure, that is 5 types of theories of elastic failure. And now we will look the fluctuating loads. Okay, so what are the fluctuating loads? Fluctuating loads are nothing but the repetitive loads. Means what is the case? The load will be applied in repetitive manner, and that is not only the positive type of load, that will be in cyclic means that may be negative positive, positive positive, or likewise. I will give you one example. Okay, that load may be likewise. Okay, means this is the positive load, here positive, here negative. Likewise, this is also one kind of fluctuating load, and another kind may be likewise. This is all the load is positive, but the magnitude is varying from, for example, 400 to 200. Likewise, the magnitude is varying, and that magnitude is repeating after some fixed interval of time. Okay, means this, for example, after 1 second again the 400 Newton is magnitude is coming. Likewise, this is the cyclic load, and repetitive kind of load is there, that is nothing but the fluctuating loads. Okay, and because of these fluctuating loads the fatigue failure happens. Means what happens, at the starting the component is able to sustain that amount of load. For example, maximum load is, for example, 500 Newton. Okay, and the minimum load is 100 Newton. So load is going to vary from maximum of 500 to minimum up to 100, and this load is going to repeat up to n number of cycles. Okay, and because of this what happens, the fatigue will be developed into the material, and after some number of cycles the material is not going to sustain this much amount of load, so that's why the material will fail. So this case is nothing but the fatigue failure. Okay, means because of repetitive action of forces the fatigue will be developed, and because of that the strength of component decreases and the material will fail. That is nothing but the fatigue failure. So fatigue failure is influenced by, there are some parameters which are going to influence the fatigue failure. Means that factors affect the fatigue failure. Okay, like stress concentration. Okay, means if there is any workpiece likewise and it have one hole here, so ultimately the stress concentration will be here at this side and this side of the hole, upside and downside of hole, here and here. For example, tensile force is there, so stress at this point will be likewise, and here is also the stress will be likewise. But here what will happen, the stress will vary somehow, likewise or likewise. Okay, that will depend on magnitude and etc. I am only giving you the idea about that. The stress will be higher at one point and stress will be lower at one point. Okay, and this is nothing but the stress concentration, and that is happened because of this irregularity. Okay, and because of this, if stress concentration is higher, then fatigue failure will occur very earlier. Okay, so there is one factor which is going to counter the stress concentration factor. Okay, stress concentration factor, which is denoted by KT. Okay, and which is equal to sigma max at section upon sigma average at section. Means maximum stress at that section upon average stress at that section. Which section I was drawn? Okay, that section, when that irregularity was there, at that section the maximum stress at that section and average stress at that section will give us the value of stress concentration factor. or we can denote that maximum stress by sigma max and the average stress by sigma O. Okay, and this is we have taken into consideration the tensile stresses. If there is shear stresses, then this stress concentration factor will become tau max upon tau O. Okay, means stress at maximum stress upon average stress, that may be tensile stress, compressive stress, shear stress, any stress. Okay, this is the stress concentration factor denoted by Kt. So note down. The next parameter is fatigue stress concentration factor and notch sensitivity. Okay, fatigue stress concentration factor, which is denoted by Kf, and notch sensitivity, which is denoted by Q. Okay, so what is the fatigue stress concentration factor, that is Kf, which is equal to actual maximum stress at notched specimen. Means what happens, what is the fatigue stress concentration factor if there is any workpiece. Okay, this is the workpiece and we have provided some notch here. Okay, so ultimately because of this notch also there will be, the fatigue will occur faster here because of this notch. Okay, so what's the fatigue stress concentration factor? That is nothing but the actual maximum stress at this section. Okay, actual maximum stress at section, which section? That notched section, upon the nominal stress in notch free specimen. If this specimen was don't have notch, in that case at this section, what is the nominal stress? Okay, at section when the notch is not there. So this is Kf, means actual maximum stress at the section when there is notch, and nominal stress when there is no notch. Okay, this is the fatigue stress concentration factor, that is nothing but sigma dash max upon sigma O, or in terms of tau max dash upon tau O. Okay, means sigma max dash is nothing but the actual maximum stress at section, at that notched section. Okay, and sigma O is nominal stress. And what is the notch sensitivity? Notch sensitivity is nothing but the increase of actual stress over nominal stress upon the increase of theoretical stress over nominal stress. Means increase of actual stress over nominal stress upon increase of theoretical stress over nominal stress. Okay, means we have to take the base of nominal stress in both cases, and we have to take into consideration increase of actual case over nominal stress and increase of theoretical stress over nominal stress. Actual stress will be calculated practically and theoretical stress will be calculated theoretically with some analytical formulas. Okay, so what is that? Actual stress is sigma max dash minus nominal stress is 0 upon theoretical stress is sigma max minus nominal stress, that is sigma 0. Okay, so ultimately we have the formula of sigma dash max, that is nothing but Kf into sigma O, because Kf was, what was the formula for Kf? That is sigma dash max upon sigma O. So ultimately Kf into sigma O minus sigma O upon, what was the sigma max? The Kt equal to sigma max upon sigma O, means here the Kt will come, Kt into sigma O minus sigma O. So sigma O will be common and cancelled. So what will be the remaining? Kf into, okay, Kf minus 1 upon kt minus 1 which is equal to q. Okay, means q is equal to kf minus 1 upon kt minus 1. So what will happen now, we will take this term here, so that implies yes, so kt minus 1 into q which is equal to kf minus 1. So ultimately we can have this equation in number of forms, that if you want kf, then kf equal to this term plus 1. Likewise we can have the equation like q equal to, we can have equation like kt equal to also. So depending on our requirement we can change the orders of this and we can get the values which will be required from kt, q or kf. Okay, so this equation is important. You can note down this equation or this equation, any equation you can note down, both equations are of same. And one term is there that is remaining, that is nothing but the kf. Kf will always less than kt. Okay, because kt is theoretical stress concentration factor and kf is fatigue stress concentration factor. Kf is nothing but actual stress concentration factor and kt is theoretical stress concentration factor. That's why the value of kf will always be less than kt. So we will move towards our next. Next is fluctuating stresses. Fluctuating stresses. Okay, because of cyclic load the fluctuating stresses will be there, like I have shown at the first that sinusoidal curve, that is nothing but the fluctuating stresses. So fluctuating stresses have okay, this will be the time, this will be a sigma. So if this is 0 and this is the cyclic loading, okay, so ultimately what will happen, this will be the sigma max, sigma minimum, and sigma average will be 0, sigma mean will be 0, that is sigma m equal to 0 because that is directly on t axis, and sigma a, that is stress amplitude will be equal to this value, sigma a, because this value is again at the bottom also, that is the value, means this is repetitive cyclic load. Okay, and this have same value at here and here also, so that's why the sigma a will be this sigma minimum, sigma maximum. Okay, draw this so that in future you will not have any confusion. The sigma m is mean stress, that is sigma max minus sigma mean by 2, that ultimately becomes 0, as sigma max is sigma mean is nothing but minus of sigma max, that's why sigma mean is 0. This is one case. Okay, and what was the formula for sigma m, that is mean stress, sigma max plus sigma mean by 2, and ultimately the sigma mean is minus of sigma max, so sigma max minus sigma max, that was become 0, and stress amplitude which is denoted by sigma a, which is equal to sigma max minus sigma mean upon 2, so minus minus plus, so twice sigma max upon 2, so sigma max, that's why I have denoted that there. Okay, that is stress amplitude. Then we have endurance limit. What is endurance limit? Okay, endurance limit, or we can have another name, that is fatigue limit. Both the names have same meaning, endurance limit or fatigue limit. Okay, which is denoted by SE dash. Okay, and this is nothing but the maximum amplitude of completely reversed stress when the standard specimen can withstand, means maximum amplitude. Okay, maximum amplitude of completely reversed load, means that is nothing but the sigma m will equal to 0, that is nothing but completely reversed load, what we have studied at the first of this topic, the fatigue, what was that, the fluctuating stresses. Okay, in that topic we have shown that curve, and that curve is nothing but the completely reverse stresses when the standard specimen can withstand. Okay, means maximum amplitude of stress that of the cyclic load, which is completely reverse cyclic load, and that cyclic load the standard specimen can withstand, that is nothing but the endurance limit or fatigue limit. Okay, and this is ideal concept, and for practically we have to consider number of factors there, because as we have in definition itself, that is standard specimen, so all the parameters of standard specimen are not same as our component, so that's why we have to consider number of factors. So what is the endurance limit? Endurance limit is nothing but maximum amount of stress, okay, which will be applied while completely reverse load is applied on the component, and that component can withstand that stress when that component have standard specimen size, like okay, standard specimen size like diameter, length, etc. That parameters are fixed for standard specimen. If that parameters are there, then that maximum stress will be endurance limit. Okay, then we have another term, that is relation between endurance limit and ultimate tensile strength. Okay, means relation between SE dash and ultimate tensile strength means SUT. So what happens with SE dash? Okay, so for steels that SE dash is 0.5 SUT. Okay, SE dash, that is endurance limit, which will be 0.5 times of ultimate tensile strength for steel. Then for cast iron, then cast steel, comma wrought iron, wrought aluminum alloy, that SE dash equal to 0.4 times SUT. Okay, these values are too much important as per our numerical point of view, so note down these all values. Then for cast alloys, that SE dash equal to 0.3 times SUT. Okay, for steel 0.5 times, for cast iron, cast steel and wrought aluminum alloy, that value is 0.4 SUT, and for cast alloys that value is 0.3 SUT. Okay, and these all three values are based on 50% reliability. Okay, reliability is the term, means for number of cycles. Okay, if we have considered 3000 cycles, okay, and for 3000 cycles, if the 50% of specimens are performing well and 50% are going to fail, then that is nothing but the 50% reliability. If 90% of the components we have tested that satisfies the 3000 life cycles, okay, then that will be the 90% reliability. Okay, such a case of reliability, I will give you deep idea of reliability afterwards in SOM, but before that only you should note this. Okay, then this is all about what I have designed for today's lecture, and now we have bonus points for today's lecture. Okay, please like, share and subscribe, and share with needy peoples, because I am giving all the content free of cost, and I have faced number of problems while giving it. That's why I am trying to give all the content free of cost. Then what is the bonus point? That is cases of fluctuating stresses. Okay, cases of fluctuating stresses. There are two cases of fluctuating stresses, which first is completely reverse stress, and another is nothing but repeated stress. Likewise, okay, if first is repeated stress, then how the repeated stress will be? Okay, this is t axis, that is sigma axis, this is 0. That repeated stress will be likewise. Okay, means this is nothing but the repeated stress. This is sigma max, sigma mean is 0, sigma minimum is 0. This will be the sigma m. Okay, this will be the sigma m, this will be the sigma a. Stress amplitude, mean stress, maximum stress, minimum stress. Minimum stress is equal to 0, maximum stress will be have some value. Mean stress will be sigma max by 2 in this case. Okay, sigma m will become sigma max by 2. Sigma a will also become sigma max by 2, because both have the formula like sigma max plus sigma mean by 2 and sigma max minus sigma mean by 2, and as sigma mean is 0, so directly sigma max by 2, sigma max by 2. Okay, so this is nothing but repeated stress, and another is nothing but cyclic stress. What is that? Sorry, completely reverse stress. Completely reverse stress means the time axis will be at center, here sigma, and the stress will vary likewise. Okay, this will be the sigma max, and again sigma a, sigma mean, sigma a, and sigma m, that is equal to 0. Okay, because sigma m is nothing but sigma max plus sigma mean by 2, and sigma, here the sigma mean equal to minus of sigma max. Okay, in case of completely reverse stress, sigma mean is equal to minus of sigma max, so ultimately sigma m becomes 0 and sigma a becomes sigma max. Okay, this is the formula of sigma m and sigma a, and this is the completely reverse stress. Okay, means sigma max will equal to sigma mean will equal to minus of sigma max, and sigma m, that is minimum mean stress, which is equal to 0. Okay friend, this is all about what I have designed for today's lecture, and I have covered all the fluctuating load basic concepts, and in next lecture I will come up with the term, that is corrected endurance limit, all the factors we have to consider, and at the last I will come up with SN diagram. Okay, so up till now watch this video till end, like, share and subscribe. Thank you friends.